audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Camille Majdali.
We've been talking about the formation of those sure foundations in a life. In our last segment, Camille, we were talking about the way that families have a tremendous responsibility in an informal education sense. Let's take that to the grown-up Christian believer. How are those firm foundations being established in the life of a believer?
All right, Neil, before I even answer that, I just wanted to make clear, I said a statement in a previous program. I've never said it before. I've never heard anyone else say this before, but I said that informal education is even more important than the formal education. Now, when we talked about this, it seemed to be that I was only implying when you're young, living in the family home, and your parents are teaching you. May I just broaden that to say that informal education is meant to be lifelong. We should be teachable from woe to go, because the informal education, which comes, like with sermons we hear or seminars we attend or interacting with wise people, all of that is informal education. And if we are teachable, even when we think we know it all, but we better not, that kind of education is going to make us sharp, alive, and you know what? It'll even keep us young. I'd rather drink from a flowing stream than from a stagnant well anytime. All right? Now, having said that, in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 2, remember the epistles to Timothy, 1st and 2nd, as well as to Titus. These are the pastoral epistles. This is a mature Paul mentoring two young pastors. That's Timothy and Titus. And what he says to Timothy in 2 Timothy 2, verse 2, he says, "The things you have heard of me among many witnesses." I mean, this wasn't done in a corner. This is public. "The same commit to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also." Timothy was taught by Paul. Now that he's taught by the great apostle, who has a proven, credible, and phenomenal track record, what Timothy learned, what he received, Paul now says to him, you have to commit to faithful men, and of course that would include women too, faithful people who will be able to replicate or to teach others also. It should have, shall we say, a chain reaction. The more we continue in teaching the knowledge of God, the kingdom of God, the Christian life, discipleship, it should spread and help encompass many more people.
Is it the case that even though that educated person may not have had the experience of having these things passed on, that the educated person may actually be in the realm of foolishness, whereas a person who is not necessarily educated, although they may be, having been the recipient of this wisdom that passes on in godliness as a foundation, that they may well be, whether educated or not, a wise person?
Yes, Neil, it is possible to be educated and even wise in the things of the world, and yet to be ignorant and foolish in the things that matter most, which are, of course, the things of God. Very, very possible. I've seen this. I'm sure you've seen this. Or as it says in Romans chapter 1, professing to be wise, they became fools. As I said earlier, informal education, particularly in the things of God, will outstrip and outbless any kind of education that is only limited to this world.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Camille Majdali from Teach All Nations. Find articles, videos and podcasts from Dr. Camille, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future in the Vision app or at vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.